What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is the Brotherly Love Podcast. This is Ahmed.
And Luffy.
And again, this is the Brotherly Love Podcast. How have you been?
I'm good, man.
Man,
We're in our new studio,
yeah.
based out of some sort of factory that makes like.
Hey, we be selling on the low though. Come on, bro. Come through. Nah, yeah,
We got them at the bath on the low.
Yeah, we had to move locations. I wouldn't say unfortunately. I guess it's more so a blessing because it's in our own house. So like we can just kind of do it whatever, but it took so long to transition from our old studio to here.
AKA my office.
Yeah, his office. How long has it been since we last recorded?
Honestly, a couple weeks. It feels like a couple months, but
Yeah, it feels like a few months or so. It just literally has been out of the loop. Like I feel like we've both been busy with a lot of stuff, but also like we're just trying to be a lot more consistent with what we're doing, and we had to uphold each other to a certain like standard, I guess you can say. So yeah, honestly, I don't have anything in mind to like a topic or whatever to speak about. I think now we're trying to transition just as brotherly love in general. We're trying to transition from you know a general topic and talking to more so like a conversation where we're just casually talking, and when something pops up, but it doesn't always have to be so formal.
bro, how's your day going?
Man, it's good. I woke up this morning, mind you, I went to sleep around midnight last night. Like past 2 days I've been very busy. Like I told you, like my workflow or the workload, that's better, has exponentially increased each single day. So yesterday, what I do? I did some DoorDash orders. I worked on music. I sent some business emails. I went to the studio, made a song, came back, and discussed some other business until I went to sleep at midnight, and now I'm here. So it feels great because I'm like, I know I'm on my shit, but at the same time I'm like, dang, this is a lot. Yeah. So that's how I feel. How do you
feel overwhelmed at times. That's normal.
Yeah, like especially when it's crazy how when we want something, we really want the blessing to happen, but when it happens sometimes we feel overwhelmed. It's like, oh dang, I wasn't expecting that much
Responsibility.
yeah, like so much responsibility to do, and you're like, dang, I gotta adjust and adapt.
Bro, you gotta listen to all those like goofy ass cliches, like, with great power comes great responsibility, right? But like it's the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Is
Like,
the truth.
yeah, like every time God gives you some sort of blessing, like there's a burden attached to it that you need to address.
There's always a gift and a curse. That's what I always like to say. No matter what it is,
We just said the same thing in 4 different ways.
I dumbed it down for myself.
I mean, whoa, I just said we just said it in different ways. I didn't say your version was dumber. Like,
I never said that. I was just saying I dumbed it down for my personal like way of learning things. I didn't say it was dumber. Yeah. Sometimes people get that misconstrued. Sometimes I'll say something and
wait, but hold on. If you got to dumb something down for yourself, are you calling yourself dumb?
No. That's like if Einstein wanted to explain the theory of relativity, whatever it's called. I don't know what it is.
General relativity.
Yeah, tries to explain it to me from what he understands. I wouldn't understand a thing. I'm like, what are you saying?
Well, I'm here's the crazy part about you using Einstein as an example. I'm like 90% sure Einstein was the one who said, like, if you can't explain something simply, then you don't understand it well enough.
Oh, facts. Okay,
so
yeah.
I think he probably could explain it in a simple way.
That's fair. Yeah.
But I do know what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that happens in college all the time. I'll be in class and the professor is just going in and everyone's like, "Sir, what are you saying? We don't understand a word you're saying."
Oh, well, that's something big in of itself, right? There's a difference between someone who knows and someone who knows how to teach,
Explain.
right? Like, you can be very well versed in a subject, like you can be that subject area expert, you're highly intelligent, you know how to do the work, right? You gain the knowledge, but you don't know how to teach. Like teaching is a skill in and of
Oh,
itself.
okay.
Like it's not just the like having a lot of information doesn't make you a good teacher.
Yeah.
Like there's certain soft skills and stuff that like you have to develop.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a lot of teachers at my college who don't have soft skills when it comes to teaching. And yes, I am speaking about you.
Damn,
No,
like
I'm messing around. But no, like back to what you were saying, like I think that's a really good distinction where it's like people can have a lot of knowledge. Like I know a lot of students just in general who are crazy intelligent. You know what I'm saying? Like they know everything to the end of the world, but when it comes to relaying that information to somebody else, sometimes it's a little difficult because maybe it's a lack of like soft skills where it's like trying to understand how to break it down for somebody else.
bro, to be completely honest with you, like teaching might be like one of the hardest professions.
I think so.
Like and like I guess my case for that is like if you think about how difficult it is for people to express things or communicate thoughts and ideas that they personally have. Like I felt some sort of way about something for years and in the moment I don't even know how to properly express it or whatever. Like they have all these emotions and stuff, like as opposed to if you think about a teacher, like they have to basically they spend their whole time trying to figure out how to transfer, I mean, like this information in a way that's receptive to other people, which means like communication is the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, shout out to all teachers slash professors, but
all
especially shout out
educators,
or
man, educators,
educators.
like people who
Yeah.
just set out to like educate other people, because there's different forms of like education. You know what I'm saying? It's not just formal education, like you sitting down with a teacher. Like that's one form, but there's also like non-formal education, and then there's
Hmm.
also informal education. You know,
Yeah.
like there's for instance, you can sign up for a class that's not in school. That's like a community organized class, or whatever. Someone's just teaching it. Like, that's a non-formal way of education. But then there's also informal ways of education, like people just having a conversation, not even going to class and stuff.
Oh yeah,
So
you can learn so much just from talking to someone new. Cuz like I
yeah.
said, I always believe like I think ever since high school especially, I kind of not necessarily made my mission like my mission. I never necessarily made it my mission to do this, but subconsciously I was like I want to talk and understand so many people so that I can see these perspectives of life and apply it to myself. You know what I'm saying? And just learn kind of new skills that like I wouldn't have learned in the classroom. But like I was saying before, shout out to all educators and teachers, but especially educators and teachers who are in the middle school slash elementary school because
Mm,
bro, they do not get paid enough. In terms of what they do, they do not get paid enough. Like, if you really think about it,
shit, I
they
don't think I get paid enough.
no one, yeah, everyone thinks they don't get paid enough. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
genuinely, I don't think they get paid enough because they are literally forming and disciplining the kids of the future, the ones who are going to decide what's going to happen in the world later on. We might not think about it right now because currently we're like, all right, what are we going to do in 2020? Who should be in control, whatever it is. But it's like, yo, that kid in third grade, he might have a crazy ambition, but he might need that spark from a teacher or from a leader or a guidance counselor. Whatever it is, someone higher up, so that when it comes to when he or she or they is a senior in high school or in college, whatever it is, they can go crazy and do what they want.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like that's not even a question. Educating the future, like the kids and stuff like that, like that's that's power.
Save the children.
Yeah, shout out Andy Black.
Shout out
Like
Andy
that's one
Blacks.
of my favorite songs too.
It's fire.
Yeah, check out Andy Black, Save the Children, BLXKS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it
Um,
is.
yeah, fire. But when you think about like education, so like when I was in school, I tried to pursue like an education minor. I don't know if you know that.
Nah.
Like, so I'm real big into like education stuff. Yeah, but here's the thing: I ended up like failing out of the intro level education course. It was called the art of,
How?
or it's called the art of teaching. I got an
The
F.
art? How did you get an F in the art of
I'm saying I
teaching?
failed it, bro. Like,
Damn, bro.
like I failed it. Yeah. I mean, because I didn't show up. I mean, if you want me to be honest, that's why I just didn't show up. like mentally, but also literally physically. I did not show up.
How old were you?
I was an adult, you know.
Well,
like,
no, I know you're an adult, but I'm saying like, was this in college,
yeah.
after
No,
college?
I took this class in college. You
Oh,
know what
okay,
I'm
okay,
saying?
okay.
But it doesn't matter. Like you're an adult in college. Like I
Yeah,
mean, adult. That's complete matter of
responsibilities and how you're taking care of them.
yeah, kind of like I was almost gonna say perspective. I was like, that's not the right thing. Like
Mm.
some people become adults at 12, unfortunately.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Some people are stripped of their childhoods. Like think about someone like Michael Jackson, Tiger Woods, you know what I'm saying? To achieve like that high level of success, like they had to sacrifice their childhood in certain ways.
that's how I feel about a lot of child stars that are either on Nickelodeon, Disney Channel. There is actually a big
That's why they be snorting lines and popping zannies.
yeah.
Yeah.
There is actually a theory I've seen recently, and I think you will understand who I'm talking about. Do you remember Kids React? Like Kids
Oh
React,
yeah,
Teens
yeah,
Re-
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You
And there
showed me that a long
yeah,
time ago.
long time ago,
Yeah.
right? There is a child, I mean, she's an adult now, but on the time, there's a child, I think her name was, like, Lily or
Mm,
something like that, but she became a really prominent star on that show,
mm,
like, people loved her. They
mm,
loved her, personality, the way she was, like, just really, comfortable, like, talking about certain topics, whatever it is. But then recently, there has been a big theory, and I believe it, is that, like, she's being controlled in a way, like, either sexually abusive or whatever it is by, like, her producer
mhm.
kinda thing, and it's like, things like that will pop up where it's like child stars will have a problem later. I'm not saying it was her that caused it, but she has, it seems that she has a history of drug abuse as well.
Mhm.
Um, Oftentimes when child stars first start, it's nice, it's fun, it's like, "Oh, I get to do this thing, whatever it is," but then over time, there's an anxiety of like, "I have to keep doing this?" Like, I have to keep putting on not a front, but I have to keep putting in this work, whatever it is, and it gets very, very stressful.
Mm. Well, I mean, let's talk about this. It's kind of interesting, right? Like
Mhm.
as a child, like you can't consent to a lot of things, right? Like that's literally
Yeah.
what defines you as a child versus an adult is like your ability to consent. So in different circumstances for different things, we have different ages of consent, which was like super confusing, but it's hard to draw like a definite line, right? Like say for instance, some 16-year-old shoots someone, they might charge him as an adult for murder,
Yeah.
right? So they're like, in that instance, you're fully capable of rationalizing and your, frontal cortex and this fully developed and all they assume all these things and they try you as an adult, right? But then like, for instance, if a 16-year-old girl sleeps with a 20-year-old dude, she couldn't I mean, the crazy thing is that like
We
I
talked about
looked
this.
we talked about, but not just that, but literally last night I was like watching something, I forgot what it was, and they were talking about like the age of consent and like how it differs in different states and stuff. And like there's
Mhm.
some states where like it's 16, like age of consent. Some states it's 18. I think some other states like different age, you know what I'm saying?
Like,
But
states in America?
yeah, yeah, I'm
Hmm,
talking like of the United States. I mean, but
okay.
that shouldn't be shocking. Like if you think about how different the states are, the rules that they
Yeah.
have. People were legally smoking weed back in Colorado for years. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
and there's some states where it's like, nigga, you going to jail.
Oh, yeah, it's like you're going to jail for a very long time. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
uh, that's actually a really good not stance, but just a thing to bring up because, I remember I would see on Twitter a lot of times, and it would be like, let's say, for instance, a 16-year-old and a 20-year-old are dating. Now, before anyone tries to cancel me or whatever it is, I'm gonna just say this right now. I don't agree with what 16-year-olds and 20-year-olds dating. That's just in a weird way, it's a gap, right? But let's say, for instance, they go to court, right? Like the parents find out and they're like, "Oh, you're dating my daughter. She's only 16, whatever it is," right? After a certain amount of time, especially as a teenager, you start to understand what it is that you want and also like the decisions you make. You know what I'm saying? Like you have a full understanding. You understand what you are doing and what position you're putting yourself in, right? So, when someone is 16 dating a 20-year-old, she knows what she's doing during that time. Is it okay? I don't know. I don't 100% know. So,
Well, I would only thing I'd argue is like going back to what I said earlier is
mhm.
some 16-year-olds know what they're doing,
Oh, not yeah, not all, not
but not
all.
all of them do. But at the same time, like, yo, I be dating some women who are 25, right?
Mhm.
Like some of the women I date who are 25, they don't know what they're doing. Like,
Big
you know
facts.
what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter that they're 25 or even 30 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't necessarily know what they're doing. I think the issue with the young, like if you know, say 16 and a 20, or like me personally, I'm not a fan. I just don't even like
Nah,
really girls who are younger than me. Like it's very rare that I'll like a woman who's younger than me.
it's a little weird.
What, to like women who are
Oh,
younger than me?
no,
That's
no, no, no,
completely
no.
normal. Like
That's no, that's
I
normal.
was like,
That's
it's like
normal.
90% of
I'm
guys,
saying
95%
I'm
of
saying the
guys.
kind of gap that 2016 is, if that
That's a
makes
normal
sense.
gap too.
Really?
4 years, yeah, because here's the thing, it's like 4 years doesn't matter when you're 45 and 41.
Okay,
4 years matters when you're 16 and 20 though,
that's true.
for the most part. And it matters a hell of a lot more when you're 2 and 6. You know what I'm saying? Like age differences, they make big changes in kids, right? But like at a certain point too, kids start developing differently based off of like the environment and the circumstances that they're put in. Like I said, you know, some people mature and like age quicker, you know, and
Yeah.
some people there's physical manifestations of that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know what I'm saying some low key what shit like you know.
Wait a second. Hold on. Hold on. Explain. Explain.
Bro, I mean, I'm saying that there's people who develop physically.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought you were saying, but at the same time, I was like,
I'm not saying because you're physically developed that means you're mentally developed. That's
yeah,
not what
no,
I'm
no, no,
saying.
no,
That's
no,
not
no,
like my
no.
take. I'm just saying that people develop differently at different ages, right? There's some women who are like 16, 17, but like dudes might think they're like 22 and like shoot their
Yeah,
shot.
and
And
that's
then they're like, "Oh, I'm only 17. I go to blank blank high school." And you're like, "What?"
Nani,
You're like, "Let me
Nani,
just take a couple steps back. You have a good day." Like
Nani. Yeah, no, I
thank God that's
100%
never happened
agree.
to me, but
There's
heard a lot of stories about that.
no, a lot of it's funny because we talked about this in the second episode, like female friends, you know,
Oh,
so you don't have it.
uh-huh.
I do have female friends. And a lot of them will tell me that story because, you know, they developed at an early age. And so
What
like
did they develop at an early age?
the physical manifestations you were talking about.
Oh, physical
Not mentally.
manifestations.
No, not mentally. They weren't, you know what I'm saying? But like in middle school, I remember there was girls that like had, you know, bigger boobs or was getting like bigger hips, whatever it is. And mind you, they're like 13, 14 max, maybe at, you know, middle, because like freshman year of high school, you're 14,
Okay.
but like 13 or so. And seniors from high school would, you know, shoot their shot because they see the development of the body, but they fail to realize that the woman has not developed mentally.
Mhm.
um
Now,
yeah,
here's a question for you, right?
okay.
And like, and this is gonna be interesting,
I'm
but
kind
like,
of afraid of this question,
do
but go
you
ahead.
think it's important for the guy to always care about the woman's development and like her mental development?
Yes, 100%. Because let's say for instance I'm 18,
Hmm.
and because I see a girl with a fat ass, I shoot my shot. But you come to realize Shawty's like 14 or 15.
Okay, that's one scenario. Now
Yeah.
let's change it. You're, say for instance, you're dating a woman who's 30,
Okay.
but she's not mentally developed. Is it right for you to,
I wouldn't I wouldn't date someone who's mentally developed regardless.
who isn't?
Yeah, who is not. Like
Okay, yeah,
if
yeah,
you're
I
not,
agree.
yeah, so like even if you're 30, I don't care if you're a bad mama jama or jamma, I don't know what to say. Whatever. Baddie, right? I don't care if you're a baddie, but
Yeah.
if you are not mentally developed or at least not mentally stable, why would I talk to you in terms of like a hoping for a relationship, right? Because if you still act like you're 15 or 16 thinking the world revolves around you, I don't want to talk to you.
Well, I mean, it's different because it's difficult because what do we even mean by emotionally developed or whatever, right? Like all these
Hmm.
terms, they're just held in reference to us and where we think we are,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, for me, I could never really date a girl who isn't on the same plane with me, like mentally. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not like at the same kind of point in her life.
Okay.
like with how she views certain things and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So that's more important to me than like the specific age, right? But it's just that I've never really met a chick like who's 17 years old who
And it's,
thinks
like,
on the
so
same
wise.
it's
Yeah.
not even because you can have that wisdom at 17, right? But it's like, yo, at the end of the day, like there's just certain shit like that you probably haven't experienced. It's possible, right?
Mhm.
And like I have met some dope ass chicks who are younger than me. Like, and actually there's a girl right now who's younger than me who like I'm talking to, right? Yeah, yeah, and like but she like mentally and like emotionally, we're like on the same page. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
what it is like we see like for the world and how the world is and stuff. Like we see it kind of on the same plane. So like it doesn't really matter that I'm a few years older than her. Just like it doesn't matter a lot of times that the woman's usually a few years older than me, but we're still on the same plane mentally and emotionally.
Okay.
That for me is a lot more important than like that's why like for me, I think it's just as disgusting for real, like if you're like 60 or 50 and you're still fucking around with like 22-year-old
That's
girls,
weird.
like, but I mean, here's the thing, right? I get it too. Like, I'm trying to be like, not even I'm trying to. We need to be fair. Like it's not weird, but it's weird to me.
Okay.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm
'Cause it's
saying?
like
Like,
it's legal, it's allowed, it's just weird.
I think, in my opinion, right? If you're gonna say that a 15-year-old can't mess with like a 20-year-old or something, like that's you should also think it's wrong that a 22-year-old, even though they're adults, be fucking around with a 50 or 60-year-old.
No,
It's just
yeah,
as
it's just
wrong.
as wrong.
Yeah, because like there's still the reason that it's wrong for a 15-year-old to fuck around with a 20-year-old is because that 20-year-old, like, they can take advantage of the situation. And when I say take advantage, I'm not talking about raping. I'm not talking about, sexual assault. I'm not talking about any of that shit. I'm talking about the mental manipulation and emotional manipulation that you can impose on someone just because I have more life experience. I know how to play this game. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? You're still living in Disneyland. You're still watching Disney Channel. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yo,
I'm on a different
like,
scale.
yeah, you're still watching Disney Channel. Meanwhile, I'm banging women who are producing shows on the shit. Like,
Yeah,
like we're
yeah,
on
yeah.
different
We're on
planes.
we're
Like,
we are not the same.
yeah, so it's
Yeah.
it's it's seen as wrong because like, yo, whoever is the older one, right? It's not even older dude, right? Older woman who's messing with a younger guy. Like in certain instances, like she's taking advantage of the situation. Like I hear it a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like with
Cougars.
it's not even cougars, bro. I'm talking about predators for real
Oh,
because
predators. Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
these women are messing with people who are like 14 years old.
Yeah,
You know
that
what I'm saying? Like
happens
I heard,
very
yeah,
often.
bro. I hear it like when I was in college, like I'd hear stories like when they were 14, 13, 15, whatever, like, lady who was 30 years old or whatever years old, like started messing with them. And it's cool because
As a
like
as a
as a
teenager, you're
dude, you're
like,
like,
"Oh,
I'm
oh,
getting it
snap."
in. Like,
Yeah.
like you are the
Get
nigga on the
into it.
block.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bro, if you got anything like that at that age, you're like, "Oh, you're the king." But growing up, after I feel like after that period of life, you start to realize that's not normal. Like that's not okay to
Exactly. It's
happen.
not
Like
okay. And
it's
like
sexual
and you
manipulation on a
start to
young
think,
man.
yeah, you start to think like, yo, what is wrong with that woman? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just in the same way that you start to think, yo, what's wrong with that dude who's 20 some years old who's messing with a 15? Just like you should be thinking about what's wrong with both of the people who a girl who's 22 fucking with a dude who's 60.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you guys obviously aren't at the same points in your life, so what's up? Like,
It's
like
time for a discussion.
so I mean, I just think like for instance, like age of consent and stuff like that, it's like it's all tricky, and like that's why I try.
It's never just black and white.
Yeah, that's why like I mean we talked about it before, like with the R. Kelly thing.
I was actually gonna bring that up too. I think it was Dave Chappelle or someone. He was like, "How old is 15 really?"
Yeah, it was
Now,
Chappelle. It was
now,
Chappelle.
yeah, yeah. So off first bat, you're like rapist. You know what I'm saying? Because of the way it's phrased, but like we're talking about like the age of consent and whatever it is, like it's a little tricky because like, all right, I didn't watch the film. I don't plan on watching the film because that's child pornography. Uh, um, there's literally, if you think about it, from what Chappelle said and what's been recalled in the documents, he peed on her. Right now, just in general, even if you're like 10 and someone's peeing on you, you're gonna move away. If you choose not to move away, it seems that I'm not saying you have the mental stability or whatever it is, but you kind of have a choice to make, and you made the choice to stay. Now, I am not agreeing that what R. Kelly did to her is okay. That was not okay. All right. R. Kelly is a bad man who makes great music. Simple.
Truth.
Very true. People don't want to talk about it.
Stepped in the name of
Yeah,
love.
step in the name of love. Like, bro, he makes good music, okay? But he's a very terrible man. So what he did to her was terrible. But at the same time, her accepting that is like, she understands what she's getting herself into.
This
But
this this is my only pushback on it, right?
Mhm.
It's like, because I generally agree.
Mhm.
My only pushback is like almost like Stockholm syndrome.
Mhm.
Like if you're, gosh, because now we're gonna be talking about like power dynamics and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
if you're like a really successful man, right, and like R. Kelly, right,
Mhm.
or whatever, like you're just a really successful man, and there's like these young women who are like fawning over you because of like your
Mm.
celebrity status and appeal. There's a certain like power dynamic there where they're in fandom with you, and like anything that you kind of say or do,
They're obsessed. Like, they
like
don't.
they're not even thinking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they're literally just like, they just feel this warm feeling in their pussy, and they're like, oh well, yeah, like what did you say? Like, yeah, we're there. Like, I'll make you a sandwich. I'll do this.
No, yeah, yeah.
Right? So it's
100%.
like someone could be in a position where it's like, I'm not saying like I agree. I completely agree, nigga. Like no one's fucking pissing on me. Like
Yeah, like if you're
like,
getting pissed on, move.
right,
But
But at the
like what
same
Luffy
time,
said,
like,
like,
I can figure out a situation in my mind where like someone's in a position where like that's like happening to them, and
mhm.
like and they would be like, okay, because
Yeah.
this is what Robert wants.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. And I
yeah, and
honestly
I want to
think,
please Robert.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. So from like an outside perspective, like logically, you're like, why don't you just move? You know what I'm saying? Like I said that.
right.
But like what Luffy said is like, yo, you have to think R. Kelly like swooned all these women to believe, not so that he's a god, but like in a way to praise him. You know what I'm saying? To be like, it's R. Kelly. He wouldn't do no wrong. Da 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 da. And that's the result of it. So I think emotional manipulation plays a very long way, especially with young women, because a lot of times, especially for like celebrities or just men in general, they'll emotionally manipulate the woman to believe in so many things, and then the actions are completely different. Completely different.
Let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Like, we're kind of describing like a cult of celebrity, right? Like
Yes,
when you assume a certain like celebrity status or social status, like you develop this cult following, right? Where
that's
it's
true.
like, it's weird, man. It's so weird. I see it on like social media where it's like, if people don't think that they have a chance with someone, it's okay to comment thirsty ass things under the shit that they post, or just like wild OD out of left field type shit, like under stuff that they post. But like if you any sort of knew or met this person, it's more so I think like the meeting them. Like if you actually met them as a person, not met them like, yeah, I got to meet them and they signed something for me and we took a picture together. I'm saying like if you had a fucking 10-minute, 15-minute, just 10 minutes, conversation with like any celebrity, I don't think you could ever go under their picture and be like, hard eyes, hard eyes, hard eyes, please fuck me, daddy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when they be posting shit,
That shit
and
be
like,
weird.
but that comes from like a cult of like celebrity where it's like, for those people who are posting those comments, right? The way they look at it is like, I don't have access to you because you're on such a different level than me, that there's a cloak of anonymity,
Yeah.
right? I'm just like every other one of your 100,000 fans or 1 million Instagram followers or whatever. So like it's cool for me to like post this shit, and like if you end up picking me, you know what I'm saying? It's like the biggest come up of my life. So that's how they have the whole dynamic they already have it framed in their mind like you are a god to them.
Mhm.
You're on another level. Like that's why they can say it, but they would never say that shit to Billy around the corner, because Billy around the corner is actually on their level. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Okay.
so if you post some shit like that under him, he's gonna be like, he actually might act on it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
very, very true.
yeah, like, and you don't. I'm assuming like people, women, and mean just people in general don't want to come off as like thirsty to their peers, but it's okay to be thirsty to
To
like
a
to a
celebrity.
celebrity. But like, fucking celebrities are just people too.
Yeah. That's funny because from my experience, now I'm not a celebrity. I'm not, this big status dude, but I have.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for humbling me. But throughout my career in music, I've definitely reached, certain levels
Mm,
of social status,
mhm.
whatever it is. And the more I do, the more you realize, like, if I look at J. Cole, or if I look at Kendrick or Childish Gambino, I don't see them as celebrities anymore. I kind of just see him. I'm like, you're a dude who makes really good music.
Yes.
Do I know you? No, but it would be a good conversation. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what's up, bro? Da da da. Oh, who are you? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, my name is da da da. Just having a casual conversation. I don't necessarily put them on a pedestal, because it's like at a certain point, uh, um, you just realize that people are people. It's just the socialness of like social acceptance of how they're received is making it seem like they're a celebrity. So, like, let's say for instance, Childish Gambino, right? He has been regarded, especially like this year and last year, like best artist of all time. This man is a jack of all trades. You know what I'm
My
saying?
nigga,
Like,
you said best artist of all time?
people have put him as best artist of all time.
Interesting. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I'm not
No
saying that
comment. Go ahead.
I'm not personally saying that. I'm saying people have put him best artist of all time. People have said he's a jack of all trades.
Yeah, yeah, I
Um,
agree
you
with
know,
that.
they put him at a big
He's
social.
amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's a great dude. You know what I'm
Not
saying?
best of all time, but yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, I understand. They put him at such a pedestal because of the achievements that he's had in his life.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? He's been a writer for 30 Rock. He's been on Community. He's a comedian. He's a rapper. He's a songwriter. He's an actor. You know what I'm saying? He does a lot of stuff.
Producer Atlanta.
Yeah,
Shout out
yeah.
Atlanta.
Shout out
Amazing
Atlanta.
show.
Great show. Like, I think that's one of the best social commentary shows like ever.
Mm.
Like, it's great.
Mhm.
But like I said, so someone that's like, I don't know, living in the suburbs, and you know what I'm saying, they're just living a regular life. They see him as like, oh my God, like he's way above me. Like, he would never talk to me, whatever it is. And so, like, I guess in terms of the comments, it can be from anybody. From the comments, it'll be um praising them or whatever it is. But if it's in person, they would probably be speechless.
I like how you said praising them, like as
Because they praise them like gods.
I mean, but like that same philosophy, like this air of like celebrity or whatever that we give to certain people. Like, I mean, for me, being completely honest, like once I would demolish in my mind like the idea of celebrity, bro, that's when shit started like clicking
Oh
for
yeah.
me. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I used to think like celebrities, and I would be like, wow, like this person is like, I wouldn't even think of them as human. You know what I'm saying? You think of them as a different class of people, like entirely. And like it wasn't like until I was in college and shit, and like you really start like thinking about shit and like actually going out there and interacting, where you're like, yo, these people are people. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all like, if you it's funny because a lot of people who like they'll be like, oh, we're all equal. You know what I'm saying? We're all one. It's the human race. Except like then they be fawning over celebrities and shit. Like, bro, I'm being completely
Sounds
honest.
like an all lives matter protest.
I'm being completely honest with you. Like, yo, I don't have like celebrity crushes. Like, I don't have like, oh, if like, oh, if this, the people are like, yo, if Bradley Cooper came, like, my wife, that's my wife's one pass. She can go with Bradley Cooper. I'm like, nigga, what? Like, that is the biggest cuck shit I've ever heard. Like,
Niggas say that?
bro, they have a pass in their relationship where they'll be like, and it's and here's the thing, why do they have that pass? Because it's deemed like fantasy land. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we're married, right?
Mhm.
But like, if Bradley Cooper came, you would go with Bradley Cooper, and I would understand, because he's Bradley Cooper.
No!
Or if like Jessica, what's her name?
Alba?
Okay, yeah, one of them. I don't even.
Yeah, there's a lot of
There's a lot of
Jessicas.
Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
I didn't even know which one. I was just like something. Yeah,
Some Jessica.
yeah. Like if one of them came by, like it's
Mhm.
okay for me to leave because it's fucking J-Lo, right? And like in my mind, I'm like in real life, when you just having quote unquote like, what is it called, cooler talk, or when you talking around the water cooler, like, all right,
Oh,
cool,
yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah.
get it, like, oh yeah, this girl's bad or whatever, but like, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like,
In real life.
if you really thinking about what niggas are saying, like, I'm like, bro, like how do you think of like this about yourself? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
In a way that like you would allow this other person to like, oh no, he's so much better than me that I understand. Like if you why the fuck you think so
bro.
little about yourself?
There's so many times I go on TikTok and I get so disappointed because shit like that will pop up. And I remember some dude was like this. He was like, if you plan on, I forgot what like costume it was, but it was like a costume from like a movie. I think it was either like Incredibles or like something like that.
Mm.
And it was like, if you plan on wearing this on Halloween, I want you to step on me.
Wait, what?
Exactly. And then people in the comments were like, yeah, bro, like she can have all my savings. She can da da da. And I'm like, how much simp shit is this? Bro, simp culture is real, bro. Like, and that's the thing. People belittle themselves because they see the other person as a higher up. Like, bro, when I tell you, people will, let's say, for instance, there's a girl on Instagram that has over 10K followers,
Mm.
right? And she's deemed
Is that when it stops like putting the number and it actually puts like 10,000? Is that when it
yeah, put like
happens?
10K and like it
Oh,
won't put
okay,
any other numbers than that.
okay.
Um, they see that as like, oh my god, like she's such a wow
Influencer.
influencer. She shows her ass, but she's such an
Look at
influencer.
all that influence.
Oh my god, shut the hell up. I hate that shit. So they see that and they immediately like belittle themselves, acting like they're not anything. Bro, do you understand? You can shoot your shot with anyone you want. It can even be a celebrity. I mean, obviously now,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, yeah, so
Yes, though.
yeah, 100%. You can shoot your shot to the DMs. It might not work, but you shoot your shot because you know who you are, right? You can shoot your shot with the girl with 10K, 20K, 30K. It doesn't matter because the way you hold yourself is the way that you will get recognized.
Yeah.
100%. So like, I don't know. Bro.
I'd
Like,
recommend maybe not doing it on social media.
yeah, like do it in person.
Yeah, I was like, bro, in person you'll probably have a lot better
Because
success.
the
rate.
girl, because here's the thing.
Everybody's in her DMs.
Yeah,
She gets
everyone.
like thousands of comments. You don't think niggas slide in her DMs? Come
Bro.
on, bro. Like
everyone is in her DMs. Everyone's in her comments saying you're so beautiful.
yeah, but
Oh my God,
how many
let me take
niggas
you
are
out.
walking up to her in the gym though?
And yeah, and just put like,
how many
hey,
niggas
what's
have
your
the
name?
balls to walk up to her when she's walking down the street though?
Yeah.
That puts you so much further ahead. So they're at the very least they'll be like, this dude is like confident enough to walk up to me. Maybe I can friend zone him. And I'm not saying that's what you want, but that is 10 steps further ahead than where
Than
you
someone
were,
else.
where
Yeah.
you were when you're just number one of 1,000 in her like in her DMs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, bro, I'm with you. Like that's actually the point I was trying to make with the cult of celebrities. Like going into people's like relationships and stuff when they look at especially like guys, and I know I'm saying this because like it used to be me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like,
yeah, same.
like when I used to look at a girl and she was beautiful girl, like attractive or whatever, I'd be like, damn, like this girl's not on my level. Like, you know, she's in a different league. Niggas be saying shit like that, right? Like you think
She's
they're
a
on
dark skinned chick and a light skinned crew.
right? And like you just be thinking like, yo, they're you literally think they're on another level to you. So
Mhm.
like you don't even end up like shooting your shot or approaching them or whatever.
Yeah.
Bro, and the craziest thing is a lot of like the most attractive women get approached the least.
Oh yeah, because
they're
dudes are scared.
because it's the most number of dudes who are afraid of them. You know what I'm saying? So they're getting all this passive attention with people looking, but not that many people saying shit.
Yeah, pulling up and like having a good conversation. I
Yeah.
think what like
Even
what
less who are doing that. You know, the ones who
Yeah.
actually come up most of the time be like, hey, yo, ma, what's good, shawty? How you doing? Let me come up on a number right quick. And they're just sitting there like,
no.
this Negro. Right?
Yeah, like
But
that
then,
doesn't
like
work.
you said like you come up and you just have a normal ass conversation with them and you bounce. They're like, wait, who's this dude who just had a normal ass conversation who can act
Man.
like his normal ass self?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what do they want in a relationship? They want someone who's gonna be there. Everyone wants that. You want someone who's gonna be their authentic self so that you can be your authentic self. Like
Yeah.
you feel comfortable in a relationship when you can bring all of you to the table,
That's true.
including like the bad people. Like, yo, sometimes that bad girl, like maybe she's not gonna wake up and do her, you know, wingtip mascara and eyelash extension, this and that foundation. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, are you still gonna be, you know what I'm saying, cool and like authentic, or was that the only thing that was like,
Yeah.
you know what
no,
I'm saying?
I 100% agree. There's been a definite change in terms of my personality. So like I told y'all like in the first few episodes, like I couldn't look people in the eye type shit. But now like I remember it was there was like this art gala that I went to, and I just straight pulled up on everybody. It didn't matter if you're a dude or you're a girl, because like I told you, my intention, I wasn't trying to hit on nobody. I was literally like, you make art? All right, cool, let's talk. Let me, tell me about your art. Why did you start? Da 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 da. Whatever it is. And like I could tell just from those conversations, they were attracted to me, not necessarily for like a relationship, but in the moment they were attracted because it was just simply like this dude pulled up on me talking about art and his view and all that stuff, and that's it. Like there's nothing, no catch to it. It's like, yeah, because I just want to talk. That's it. Now don't get me wrong, they're like, I remember there are a few times where you see a baddie, you're like, damn, I don't know if I can, what I'm saying, pull up. Because let's be real, guys. Like a lot of guys are like, nah, nigga, like I'm alpha male, da 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 da. But when a baddie comes through, what do?
They be standing there on the wall like, where the hoes at?
Where the hoes
just
at?
stand there on the wall. Be like, nigga, they're everywhere. Get off the fucking wall, like,
bro. What I hate,
niggas be pulling up to parties, chilling on the wall, like,
bro,
that
where the annoys me. Annoys me so much. I remember,
like, nigga, they're in the middle of the party. Go talk to them. Like.
I remember I pulled up on a party like back in like January or like January, like December, something like that. And I went with my friends and we're having a great time.
This year?
Yeah, this year. So like
okay.
January this year.
Mm-hmm.
We're lit, having a great ass time, right?
This is shocking to hear.
Yeah, because I don't go out. I don't go out.
That's why I was like, this year?
I don't go out, guys. I don't go out. So we all decided, because we're like, we don't really go to parties. Let's just turn up for the one time. I was like, all right, say less.
Mm-hmm.
So we go and we turn up, and literally, a lot of times at parties, for some reason, which is so stupid to me, the dance floor is empty and people are waiting for something to happen. So people don't really go in and whatever it is. Now, mind you, I'm lit. I'm on a different dimension with my friends. It's
a different dimension.
Yeah, I go a different dimension, right? So the girls are like, we're gonna go to the bathroom real quick. We'll be right back. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm waiting with Brandon, and then as soon as they came out, I was like, I'm going in. So we go in, we're turning up, we're having a great time. We're having just a set, like just a circle, like 5 or 6 people, and then you start to see other people having little circles, but the majority of people are on the wall just waiting, and it's like, yo, the dudes who are waiting on the wall, if you want to pull up on a girl, be yourself. Be around your friends. Have a great time. They will notice it. They will 100% notice it.
I was like, bro, to be honest, for real, like, some of the most success I ever had, like, at parties, was like, you start talking to people, like, you show up to the party before, like, it gets jumping. You start talking to them before people even start dancing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's up? How you doing? What's your name? Blah, blah, blah. You
Yeah.
just start talking to them. And, cool. You already got it in with them in a certain way. You can come back at any point in the night. Like, you grab their number. You can dance with them. You can, whatever. Like, but... You're right. Like, there's a lot of people who are like, but it comes who are like chilling, almost like pimps. You know what I'm saying? It's like that pimp mentality. Like, I'm gonna just post up on the block, and niggas gonna come to me to get their fix. It's like that same mentality, but it's like you don't have any sort of juice. Like, you're not moving nothing. So why
you have no sauce?
So why would these people come up to you? Yeah, right. Especially like
clout.
If you look at it from a woman's perspective too. Like, I'm assuming like, yo, woman's at a club. Like, she's there with her friends or whatever. Like, there's 13 niggas posted up on the wall. Like, she has her choice to pick. Like, why is she gonna walk up to you? And there's already all these other niggas right there on the dance floor. Like,
yeah,
like why is she gonna come up to you on the wall? Like, you don't got the juice like that, bro. Like,
you think you're like so flexed up that the girl sees you and it's like, oh, yo, that's
how about this?
That's
how about
King
this?
Caulifla.
How about this?
I'm gonna talk to him real quick.
How about this? You're standing on the wall, like you're not even sitting in like a section or something for them to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look like all the other niggas there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have any differentiating features or factors. Like, yo, like you gotta do something if you're gonna rely on that. You know what I'm saying?
Be different, man. Be different. Like,
it's not about being I mean, I agree, right? But I would phrase it as like, be yourself.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And when you because here's the thing is, when you are yourself, you are different. Like, we're not the same people. Like, we like to do a lot of the same stuff. Like, people in general, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But like, no one's the same person. Like, so if you just lean into like your authenticity and like yourself, you'll naturally be different. Like, you'll naturally be on some like different shit, and people will be attracted to that.
Yeah. I remember this is funny. So I think this happened, it was like the weekend after that party. There was like some event that like it was pretty much for like so like the black community in my school is like, go to this bar and just like have a good night or whatever. So mind you, me and my friends, we don't go out, but we're like, why not? We don't. We're 20, we're all 21. Why not just go? I was like, all right, cool. So we pull up, and I remember like they're stamping us, and I see some girls that I know, and then I heard the song, so I'm like, hey, I just started dancing like, hey,
Doom,
yeah,
doom,
doom, doom,
doom.
yeah, yeah. So I'm like dancing whatever it is, and
I want
like,
you back that ass.
oh
up.
no. Wait, was that
You's a
playing?
fine motherfucker.
That was playing, but not that specific moment. That I think that moment it was like Deuces by Chris Brown or something like that. But I was just, I was getting it. And then, you know what I'm saying? We're all having a good time. And like you said, when we were all having a good time, people started to notice and started joining in our circle. Eventually, our circle was the one everyone was looking at. So then, like, naturally, like I said, like girls will start looking at like, all right, who's in the group? Who can I try to slide to? And a couple girls tried to. I wasn't interested. I was just like, I'm with my friends right now. I'm not really trying to talk or anything. But it was.
You pulled the girl move on the girls.
You said what?
Said you pulled the girl move on the girls.
Yeah,
You know, girls be doing that all the time. It's
bro.
like,
Do you
I'm just
understand
out
how
here with
good
my
it feels?
No, I don't want to
like,
dance. I'm just with my friends.
Do you know how good it feels to swerve a girl, bro? The roles are reversed, and you feel like a king.
I agree, but don't let it.
Oh yeah, don't do it.
Don't
too
let
much.
it lead into like that MGTOW I hate women type shit, man. Like, because they're also horrible. Like,
oh yeah, no, I hate those kind of guys.
Yeah.
No, I meant
it's
literally.
like, yeah, fuck these women. It's like, bro, but like,
you want these women?
Aren't you heterosexual?
Yeah,
like,
I'm celibate by choice.
Right.
No, but
shit, what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm saying, oh no, not celibate. It's involuntarily celibate. Yeah, my bad. But no, I think it's good, especially as a man, that like you're able to just say no, because a lot of times what I've learned, especially from being a dude, is like if a girl talks to you, oh, you should be happy she's talking to you.
What?
Right? So it's like
Who said that?
No, I'm not saying it's like I'm not saying I said that or whatever. I'm just saying it's just like kind of like a cue where it's like, oh, if a girl's talking to you, you should give her a chance, or like just in general, because guys don't get talked to a lot, or you should accept it. But at the same time, it should be like,
that sounds rapey as hell for some reason.
Because it is.
I was like, what? Like,
it is. It hikey is.
Give women
There's
a chance.
like there have been a series of girls, like if a girl, like let's say for instance I have a conversation with a girl, right? And then she's starting to get interested into me, and I'm like, I'm not really too sure, and she wants to do other things. If I say no, she's gonna be a lot more upset and is gonna try different ways to persuade me.
Let me ask you a question, Ahmed. Have you ever faked an orgasm?
Have I ever faked an orgasm? Let's define an orgasm. Because it's a genuine question.
You need to define
So
it. You coming, bro. Like, what do you mean?
Okay.
Like, have you ever faked it to end, you know what I'm saying, the session? Because, I mean, I'll just tell you straight up. I have.
Yes.
Multiple times.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes it's just trash.
Okay, look. So, like, you know, going back to, like, what you were saying, right? Like, how come I have to, like, okay, in this instance, right? Like, where you need to fake an orgasm, right? Like, if a woman fakes an orgasm, it's like, you know, the dude's feelings are gonna, you know, be hurt and stuff like that. So, like, you know, they fake an orgasm. But like, that's kind of a known thing. But I feel like people don't really be talking about the fact that, like, guys sometimes fake orgasms too. We just never talk about that shit. Why? Because we're like super sensitive to making sure like the woman feels good, right? And they be thinking like something's wrong, like if it doesn't happen, right? Where, like, I just know, for instance, it's not 100% that she's gonna orgasm, right?
Yeah.
But she should also know it's not 100% that I'm gonna orgasm, right?
Communication.
Right? So it's like when we constantly, like, I feel like trying to. What were you saying beforehand? Because I feel like it was kind of out of left field.
No, it's like so it sounds really left field.
Yeah.
So pretty much what I'm saying is like this. A lot of times girls are like, oh, you should be grateful that a girl is interested in you. Like, you should take that shot. You should let them take that shot. It's like, no, I don't want her to take the shot. I don't like her. right? But from, I'm not saying society or whatever it is, but as a general consensus for a lot of dudes, it's like, oh, let's say for instance getting pussy, right? Oh, I'm getting pussy. Why am I complaining?
Shit, I got a lot of reasons to still complain. Like,
Exactly.
like is that all you can provide? Like, shit, that's what hoes provide. But I'm not
Ha
fucking around with hoes. Like,
ha.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like literally, what is a bird? What is a jump off? What is all that shit?
Yeah.
Like if that's what I wanted, like I could get that shit so much easier and cheaper than having to deal with the other stuff. But it's like there's other stuff that like I want and need in a relationship
One
too,
thing,
besides just a jump off. Like
yeah, one
otherwise, like
thing.
I could head down, bro. Trust me. Like all my cribs are right next to where the crack hose be at.
Damn, that's true. One thing I hate when we're talking about the orgasm thing, right? So this is on both sides. This isn't just women, but men and women, right? I never understood the concept of blaming the other partner. So it's like, oh, he couldn't find where the clit was at. Oh, he couldn't make me bust. Da 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 da. Well, did you talk about how you were feeling during that time, or did you just like oh whatever?
Nigga, you think people have the mental capacity to communicate? These people barely can tell their feelings to the people that have they could barely express that I wanted to have sex with you. Do you think that during sex they're gonna be able to say like
Fire.
no, do this or no, do that or I like this or I like that? I was like, bro, like I'm not even gonna say how many. I'm just gonna say there are women out there, right? You're about to have sex with them. They will tell you to turn off the lights. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Like, let's break that down for a second.
I beg your pardon.
Right, like you're about to expose yourself to me in the most intimate way, and you don't want me to see? Bitch, I already saw everything. I've seen what I need. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like in that same way, the reason they don't want to be like, oh, kiss my neck, bite this, do that, whatever, is because like that's divulging information too. That's being vulnerable in certain things too about
That's
what you
true.
like and don't like.
That's true.
And like it's difficult for people to do that, man. That's why when we even start off, I was like, yo, teachers, one of the hardest jobs, right? Because they communicate their fucking feelings.
We made an entire circle of a conversation. What the hell? That's
Yeah.
so true.
From orgasms to teaching, bro. Like,
Man,
yeah.
whenever it comes to life, if I meet a girl who's a teacher, yeah,
Have you ever dated a teacher?
no.
Yeah. No.
I think I'm too young.
Oh,
currently.
that's fair. I mean, but real soon there'll be a lot of girls who are
yeah.
about to start teaching around your age. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I dated a couple teachers.
if I was single, you know what I'm saying, and she's a teacher, I'm trying to
Teachers are the new wave.
Teachers are the new wave.
Teachers are the new nurses.
Teachers, librarians.
You remember the librarian chick I messed with?
You mess with a librarian chick?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to use the word mess with. We were dating a little bit.
Nah.
Yeah. Because mess with sounds like we were just having sex and stuff, which isn't true.
I gotcha.
I never touched her. Yeah, I said it that way. Nah. She never touched me either, so don't worry about it.
But you just said,
well, I did. I was dating her, but we didn't.
oh, I thought you said you did have sex with her.
No. I did not.
Oh, I was like, so then when you said that, I was like, that just contradicts everything you just said.
No,
okay.
No.
Okay.
I didn't touch her. Like there wasn't any physical
I feel that.
intimacy between us. But
I feel that.
amazing woman, amazing bros. Librarians, teachers, that's the new shit, bro.
That's the new wave.
That's the new wave.
They know how to communicate their feelings. That's what, yeah. Communicate your feelings.
And here's the thing, though, right? Like, I know a bunch of women gonna be like, y'all over here talking about all the women not being able to communicate their feelings. Let's talk about all the dudes who can't communicate their feelings. Like,
bitch, I don't give a fuck.
Damn.
No, I'm gonna be real with you, bro. Sometimes, and you might take this as misogynistic. Sometimes women just irritate me. Cause they be saying shit. I'm just like, are you dumb or stupid or dumb?
Huh?
Yeah, literally. So like, okay, I understand. So let's get back to what you were saying, right? When you're saying,
Yeah.
What about all the men that don't know how to communicate their feelings? First off, honey, that is not a man. That's a little boy. He doesn't know how to communicate his feelings. He doesn't know, He's a little boy. All right. Don't try to compare me to a little boy when I know how to communicate my feelings and you're still afraid because of what other people think.
Let's be fair. A little bit, right? Like,
okay. I'm
women
sorry I went too harsh, but go ahead.
like, women also don't women also communicate their feelings. Girls don't communicate their feeling,
That's
right?
true.
Like let's
That
let's
is very,
yeah,
very
like
true.
let's give them a little bit of space. And that's why I always say like I dated some amazing women. I
Mm,
emphasize that they're women. Like they're not just some chicks or whatever. Like, there were some that I dated, but like for the most part, like because like they were women, right?
okay,
Like I think that guys also don't communicate their feelings generally well. You know what I'm saying?
that's true.
And it's like a big feedback loop. It's like it's like well, the other thing too with guys though, to be fair, right? Guys, feelings in general with guys, like a lot of that, yes, there is male culture that holds back guys from expressing their feelings, but where does that male culture come from? And a lot of
Mm.
times I feel like it comes from like women. Right?
Not
I'm over here like
caring.
this nigga's over here blaming women now for men not having emotions. Like, no, I'm just saying
There's
that
a
like
factor.
women need to understand that they play a role in like propagating or perpetuating. They
I think
like
maybe
continue
frustrating.
perpetuating, yeah,
Hmm.
perpetuating like this idea that like men shouldn't show their feelings and stuff like that. Because when a man generally does, like he gets clowned. And
Yeah,
like, and they'll be like, "No, what are you talking about? We love a." It's like, nah, like
I
you
don't think
guys
you
do in
do,
theory, but like when a nigga's actually over there, whatever, like subconsciously you start to be like, "Yo, this nigga's weak as hell. Like he can't protect me."
bro.
Like,
That okay. So let me rephrase one thing. All right. So like what Luffy said, uh, this isn't two women; it's the girls because it's the difference between little girls and women.
mm,
Women know how to communicate their feelings and they know how to, whatever. That was meant for little girls, guys. Apologize.
mm,
But back to what you were saying, I think that's a. I'm not saying it's the sole reason because I think there's definitely some toxic masculinity in our own community where it kind of just told us like don't show your feelings because you're a man.
yeah,
But there's definitely you cannot disregard the factor that if that's even now I'm still afraid to show emotion sometimes because I know sometimes they'll look at me like nigga you're weak, like why are you bitching, you know what
mm,
I'm saying, and then they'll start to see you as something less than when in your mind you don't really want that. You kind of just want to be vulnerable and you want to be honest, but sometimes it won't allow it.
yeah. I'll say this like for the final point about that, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to this woman, right, and she was telling me about her husband or her partner. It's technically not her husband, her partner. And this woman's probably 40s or
Are
so.
we talking about the same?
Yes. Right? And her husband's probably or her partner, sorry, he's probably like, in his 20s, upper 20s.
Okay.
And she's probably in her 40s.
Yeah.
Um maybe close to 50. Very attractive woman. And she was telling me, she was like, men should express their feelings and their emotions and should be more open, and it's bullshit like that they don't, or that they feel that they don't need to and stuff like that. And her partner was very open with expressing his feelings and emotions. So like that is how they got together. It makes perfect sense, right? Like, she wants a man like who is in tune with that part of himself, and like she found one who is, you know what I'm saying? And it works. At the same time, she be giving off like, or she be saying stuff sometimes where it's like she wants like a man's man. You know what I'm saying? Like, or she
Mhm.
just be giving off this vibe sometimes, and like it's too late to go into it right now. We could talk about it, another time. But she gives off this vibe sometimes that like she just wants someone to like bend her over and like put her in her place.
Damn. Uh, well,
So,
shit. No, I
sorry.
think no, I understand it. I think for girls or women, they want a man who is masculine, but also shows their feelings.
Only to them.
Only, yeah, only to them. It's like I understand it. It's like you want both sides,
Hmm.
but sometimes it's not always like that. It's not always just black and white. Sometimes it's a little tricky. But I guess in terms of a conclusion to this episode, um, for men, just be yourself and learn that it's okay to say no to any situation. For women, learn that it's also okay to say no to multiple situations and try to try to understand us sometimes.
Yeah, I think the whole world just needs a lot more understanding, and that understanding comes from communication, right? So,
I think it's the biggest factor we talked about today was
yeah,
communication.
communication. So just challenge yourself to communicate, and that requires you to have a deep understanding of self. So spend the time by yourself to really process and understand how you feel so that you can communicate that to other people,
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that was cool.
regardless of gender.
Yeah. And this is Ahmed,
And Luffy.
and this is the Brotherly Love Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Ah!